Welcome to Heroes Rising, hosted by Sifu Rafael, a master instructor, public speaker, and the founder of Speaking Prowess. Known for his expertise in empowering individuals through the art of communication and leadership. Alongside him is co-host Jose Escobar, an acclaimed personal development speaker, 18-time published author, and founder of 2 thriving businesses, including the Connected Leaders Academy. Together, they bring you dynamic conversations with world-class entrepreneurs, industry icons, and visionaries. Heroes Rising is your go-to source for wisdom, motivation, and unstoppable growth. Join us and discover the hero within you.
We have a hero with us, Jose.
That we do. Not your average hero, that's for sure.
Not at all. I love the topic today, the balance, blueprint, passion. So, Carlee, talk to us about that.
Okay, well, first of all, thank you both for having me. I feel like I'm in very, very good hands today. I feel very fortunate for that. But first of all, I think the word balance is like an interesting one, right? I think a lot of us are in pursuit of that. And what that means for everyone, I think, is different. I love that we're talking about passion, work, and purpose, because I think these are things that I find often people feel like they have to fill one of the buckets, but you can't fill all of them as sort of like an intersection for yourself. And so for me, that to me is life, is like the movement of life and what we do as individuals, and what we can contribute to the world. So whether that's I'm at work and that could fuel both my purpose and my passion, or I do things that I'm passionate about that give me energy for work. I think these are the things where they intersect and play, but to be able to think about that holistically, I think is huge for us and a differentiator.
Good stuff. Good points. I will have to chime in on this. I'm a big fan of passion, a big fan of work, and a big fan of purpose, because and they're all interconnected, which is pretty much what we're talking about here, the balance, right? Now, I've got to say, a lot of people talk about work-life balance. I'm not so sure. We do our best with work-life balance. It's a lofty goal and an admirable goal at that, to have a work-life balance. But the reality is, if you're on a mission, you will be out of balance. It's just difficult to have that perfect, like, ooh, I'm the best husband and dad and being super involved, but I'm also building this amazing global company and all in on that. So something is going to take a hit little by little here and there. The goal is to make sure you're as balanced as you can be, but it's never going to be that. And I have looked at so many interviews from so many successful entrepreneurs, and not one of them had a work-life balance on the climb. Not one of them.
Yeah.
Now, again, for each their own, but going back to passion is something, in my opinion, you develop over time along the journey of developing your skill sets with your work. A lot of people say, I think I saw a college commencement speech or something like that from Steve Jobs or whoever it was, and he says, just find your passion and go in with that. But a lot of times your passion may not pay you well.
Yeah.
A lot of times your passion may not be what you're good at, right? So just because you're in your passion doesn't mean it's going to serve you well. So I always say, look at what you're good at, look at what the marketplace needs, and you will develop your passion over time. And if all goes well, you also are passionate about it, then you hit the jackpot. But your passion will develop over time, and that comes with putting in the work, developing the skill sets. And as all of these things line up, all of a sudden you have a purpose, and you are mission and purpose driven, and life doesn't get better than that when you know your purpose.
Yep. Yeah, I think like what I love about you're talking about is it's like first of all, differentiating perspective as you like lead your business, lead in work, which I love. And I think you're showing, like, from your point, you're like, this is like how you think about, like, where do you place it? Where have you seen others place where they spend their time and energy? And Jose, like, I agree with you about like the concept of work-life balance. I think it's a term that's like way overused, puts people in pursuit of something that's like just not achievable. The best way I've heard it is you just can't have it all. It's a matter of where are you making choices.
Yep.
And so, like, in these three things, like passion, work, and purpose, I think you pulled one of those out, which is sometimes your passion may not be what could drive your work, but I would then say, like, well, then if it's not at work, can you find it somewhere else? Because like life, you do want to have these things that are fulfilling, but also they might be in trade-offs of one another, right? You could be in a high work season where you're like, I just got to get some stuff done. I got to take my strategy to the next level, business to the next level. So some of that purpose, or not purpose, like passion's going to, move a little bit to the side. Again, you can't have it all, but if you can be intentional about it, make trade-offs and decisions that you're doing, I think that's what we can be in service to ourselves. It's the stuff that we lose unintentionally because we're not focused on what it is that's most important for us.
Yeah. Great points. And again, it's very easy for us to lose ourselves on the journey of the climb of whatever it is, because we're all climbing something, right? And I have this ladder here. See this little ladder with a star on it? I don't know if you can see it well, but it's right here in front of me. I have a couple of things here on my desk that are reminders of things, right? This is time is valuable, right? And time is precious. And if you're not careful, it'll run out on you on your journey, right? I have things like this, right? Which remind me that success is a climb and it takes effort. And you got to make sure your ladder's leaning on the right tower, right? Reading on the wrong building. If you're on the wrong building, that's a scary place to be. I have things like this globe here. It's a nice crystal globe on my desk that reminds me that I'm not after local, regional impact. I am not after nationwide impact, right? Across the country. I'm after global impact. Though I'm here to change the world. And this is directly in front of me. And then I have things like this that are in front of me, like a big eagle, right? You can look at this as patriotic, and that's true too. But it also reminds me that I got to soar with the eagles, right? And not hang out with the ducks. And I got to make sure I'm always flying high and doing the appropriate things. And so I have a lot of these things on my desk that remind me of the climb, and we have to be careful to not lose ourselves in that process.
Yeah.
Right? It's very possible to lose yourself in the pursuit of something. We have to keep our why in front of us at all times. We have to know our purpose. We have to be very clear about what our mission is and what our mission is not.
Yep.
So just some thoughts.
Yep.
I love that idea of having all these things around that remind you of the things that are important in your life. I have something that people don't realize, that I have Cookie Monster. And Cookie Monster reminds me that you have to have fun, and you have to maybe sometimes, even though cookies aren't necessarily good for you, sometimes you might have to have a cookie. You said something that sometimes we're climbing on things. Sometimes we're trying to climb off of things. Right now, I am not feeling well, so I'm trying to climb off of that ladder and get to the ladder of health. So I am going to be leaving you guys. Thank you for continuing, and I'm going to listen to this later on, because I think recovery is also an important part, right? Because I have a lot of things happening this week, so I need to take care of them.
Recovery.
So I need to go
Can you define that?
recovery.
I don't know what that means. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things that we have to look forward to, but if we're not in a healthy way, we're not taking care of ourselves, then we may lose out. So I'm going to leave you guys. Thank you for letting me be here with you.
Take care
You
of
guys
yourself.
enjoy it. Jose, you're the captain of the ship now, buddy.
And Sifu, thanks for demonstrating you can't have it all. Like, you got to take care of you, because you have other things down the line. And if you're not even just refueling the tank, just getting the tank back in order,
Yes.
you're not going to be able to continue to contribute those things in other ways. So
Now, Sifu, I've got to say, I got to piggyback off of what Carlee just said. I have to say this, and you are very capable of this. Don't leave this to not go rest and do other work. Okay, leave this to go physically do nothing and just rest your body, hydrate, rest your body, and do that type of stuff. You know, that's important. So it's okay, as you know, to slow down, to speed up.
I will. Thank you for the advice, both of you. I appreciate it. And continue this incredible conversation. You guys rock. Thank you.
Feel better, Sifu.
Woo. That's not me being sick, by the way. This is called a wellness shot. I don't know if you know Bedros Kilian, but he put out this product. It's a great product. It's like a shot that has like ginger and all kinds of amazing, like echinacea. It has all this crazy stuff in it, but ginger, like it's like a powder too. So when you put it in it, like it's really powerful.
It'll hit you for sure. I love more like stages of things. There's like, so Sifu is like, if you don't take that energy shot or that like health shot, I'm like the potential like next impactor here, and you're like, people drink your nutrients, because if you don't, you'll be like Sifu and you're out. So now I'm like, I need to go get my drink and get on board.
Yeah, no, this is delicious. It actually tastes really good. It's healthy. It's all natural stuff, and like turmeric and ginger and all that kind of stuff. So it's pretty nice. I do it every morning. I take it. Today I'm in the afternoon because my morning just like went by like this, right? Because why? I'm passionate about the work I'm putting in route to my purpose, which is what we're talking about, right? So
for sure. I was thinking about, when we obviously you and Sifu host this, and we didn't get a chance to, well, we're talking about it now. I think there are a lot of people that you come into contact in life of what drives them, where are they making impact, what do you not take from like as in like selfishly grab, but sort of like energy, ideas, like, oh, I'm inspired by type of notion. And when I think of like passion, work, and purpose and motion, I love this because I really look up to both what like you and Sifu do, both in your business, how you run the business. And I think it is, at least for me, and like connection, feeling like those things are connected. And I'll use the term balance because it's in the title, but like they flow with one another and they show up in different ways. Like, for example, if I think about passion, right, whether it's growing business, building business, helping others and doing that, that's then becomes both the passion intersection of purpose. And largely, I just want to land to say, I think you can be successful in thinking about all of these things and with intent. So I appreciate, this is like a sort of appreciation of both of your styles of leadership. And while different businesses, ways of showing up, it's like very clear and you feel that. And one of the things that I was excited to share, I just before this call was talking with someone. I feel like for me, I've really landed on how do these things come together. Again, maybe you can't have it all, so at different times they've shown up. But I'm at a time in my life and in my career where I'm trying to be intentional about these things. Like I work with people and building both who they are as leaders, how they're moving in their careers in intentional ways. And I could very easily look at that in a segment, a focused way of have a career conversation. This person's like in a pursuit and will gain a better job and say, great, that fulfilled my work. But if my purpose is also to help people move through and find their passions, which has them fulfill better lives, which if I want to go by extent, say that helps their families or friends or communities, like there's just so much more than go with that. But Jose, I'm pulling it back to say, for me right now in this season, I feel like I've been really intentional about these things, and I'm excited about how that's showing up for me at work, how that's showing up in my community. I live in Baltimore, and also how that's showing up with communities that I serve, even in like career coaching. So one, I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for the people in my network, back to you and Sifu, to be able to demonstrate that, to show that it's possible. And two, I wouldn't be here with having greater impact without also thinking about these things, like, and how they sit purposefully in my life. So kind of partly thinking out loud, partly sharing in that you ever just have one of those days you're sitting in it and you're like, I think all of it's coming together. And I just had that call before this. So thank you for the reflection time.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, you just said something, career coach, that kind of thing. There's somebody to introduce you to in the CLA. They just posted something about the career piece.
Yeah.
Is a great conversation. So I just wrote that down because then I'll forget.
No, good.
So I will do that intro later today. Anyhow, yeah. So great points, and I love how you're the finding the way, the path, right? And you're on it. You feel good about it, which generates a feel good level of momentum, which we all want, right? And when we feel good, we are usually in alignment. We're in
Yeah.
alignment with a lot of moving parts because all these parts can get away from us if we're not careful. Our passion can be out here, and our skill sets out here, and our work ethic over here, and the mission out here, and somewhere is the purpose, and it just becomes a major disconnect, and we are constantly going in this. I guess what is this word? The hamster wheel,
Yeah.
right? The never-ending hamster wheel, putting out all this energy just to end up nowhere.
Yep.
And if you do make progress, you've made progress in the wrong direction. And then
Mhm.
you're like, oh my gosh, now I gotta go backstep all of this and then go back in a different direction, right? And and it requires effort. And momentum lost is not good because momentum lost means you have to regain it. And to regain momentum is like trying to go up an escalator backwards underwater.
Mm.
It just becomes that much more difficult to regain momentum. So I always tell people when you're on the horse, you're on the saddle, and you're moving forward, keep the blinders on and stay laser focused.
Mm.
Right? Don't get distracted. It's so easy to get distracted. It's so easily to downshift from sixth gear down to third because you feel good and you start to coast. And again, everything is connected. So when you start to coast because you feel like you're on the right track, then you start to get complacent. And when you get complacent, you start to put in less work, and you put in less work, and then you start to get distracted. You get distracted, all of a sudden you're in a different place, and you're like, how did I get here?
Mhm.
So super, super important to just kind of make sure that we're on the right path. We have the momentum, we're laser focused, we feel good about what we're doing, and that usually comes with the proper alignment.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Agreed. And I think both when you're sharing this now, and I was thinking about this earlier when you're chatting or like sharing kind of like in business how to like think about things. And we're entering this call around like this title, which like I'm happy to chat about because what I'm landing on is I think these are three things that are highly important to me. And when I think about like what is high performing for me, it's the investment in these areas because that's what gives me energy, drive, and impact. And impact being a lot of things. But perhaps what I'm also, and what I'm adding to that is maybe Jose, this question of like, what's everyone else's like three word mix of like how they're thinking about moving in their life. And I think you just gave some examples of, to me, what might keep you on track with the things that matter most for you, right? Staying focused, staying committed to that focus, not letting off the gas. But I just posed that question out there because we're, again, under the umbrella, because happy to share like my journey, but I also think it's important for people to reflect and say, what are the three things that I should be focused on to be in pursuit and to find the impact that you're seeking. And so I'm curious for you, like, maybe I'll just ask you, like, do you think that's changed for you over the years? Do you feel like you've always been anchored kind of in the same, here's the mix of what fuels me and what keeps me anchored, at that highest level for you as a person?
Well, at the very beginning, prior to having a business, prior to 4 years and 3 months ago, right before I had a business, I was trying to figure that out. I didn't really know what my bigger purpose was and
Yeah.
my mission and my vision. I had ideas of it that were very vague.
Yeah.
It wasn't crystal clear. And that's the issue. That's why I was spinning my wheels, is because I didn't have clarity on what that was.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And clarity can solve a lot of problems. Once you're crystal clear and you know exactly where you're headed, why you want to go there, right? It's amazing what can happen when you have the alignment and you have the vision, the mission, and the purpose all kind of in cohesion with each other, in sync, right?
Yeah.
So it wasn't until I launched Connected Leaders Academy that I understood my calling. I understood my purpose. I understood my vision, because my vision has always been to serve people, but I didn't know how. I didn't know where. I didn't know who specifically, right?
Yeah.
You can't serve everybody. It's like, for example, trying to make everybody happy. That's the fastest way to being unhappy, is trying to make everybody happy, because you can't make everybody happy. And no matter how much you try in trying to make everybody happy, you're going to make yourself unhappy, because you're going to be doing a lot of things that aren't in alignment with you. Right? So for me, I said, who am I looking to serve? What kind of impact am I looking to create? Where do I want to go with this thing? And I started kind of crystallizing this. And then when and I'm going to tell you a very, very quick version of this, and then I'll turn it over to you, and I'm going to ask you the same question.
Yeah.
Right. And I was like, who do I want to serve? What do I want to do? So prior to launching Connected Leaders Academy, I sat down with my whiteboard. Okay. And I have a big, massive whiteboard over here. As a matter of fact, since we're here on camera, it's that big thing over there, right? The big, huge whiteboard. And I sat down with it and I said, well, what exactly am I good at? Where are my skill sets? And then I said, well, what am I passionate about? What do I enjoy doing that I wouldn't consider to be work? And what is the marketplace missing? What does the marketplace need? What kind of value do I need to add? Right? So I looked at these three things, and I think I learned that or heard that from, I don't know if it was Dean Graziosi or Tony Robbins at some point. They laid those three things out, right? What are you good at, your skill sets? Where's your passion? And what does the marketplace need that you can add to it, right? So I kind of looked at those things, and I found, as I went all the way back in time, literally, Carlee, I went all the way back to elementary school. And I asked myself, what was I always doing that I was good at, that I enjoyed doing? Right. And I found myself to be a galvanizer. Right. I was the guy who was rallying people together to do something. I was always a leader in some capacity, and I was always bringing people together for some kind of something. And it's like, what did I do in elementary school? I was the one that was setting people up in captains to play basketball games during recess. During recess, I was the one organizing the soccer games. I would organize the game of tag. I would say, hey, guys, let's do this, that kind of a thing, right? And people would follow, and they would say, oh, yeah, let's do that, blah, blah, blah. And then every now and then somebody would kind of say, oh, no, let's not do that. Let's do this. And I said, well, what about this? And then it became a thing. And then we would find a way I started by my skills of negotiation. Right? Started in elementary school and sales, because you got to sell that to people, right? And then from there, in middle school, I was causing trouble. I was doing all kinds of ridiculous things. And I know this is public and everybody's watching this live, but I would do dumb things like I would get my lunch and I would throw it in the fan, and the fan would like splatter it everywhere. And I was causing trouble. So I was doing this to get attention, and people would come and they would follow me. Oh my God, did you see what Jose did? Oh my gosh. And causing that kind of like middle school trouble.
And
that's just the beginning of it. But I was rallying people together for not so good things in middle school. And then in high school, guess who was throwing the house parties? Me. And I would find somebody that would donate their house to have a house party. I would find somebody who was old enough to buy alcohol. I would find the ladies' man who knew all the girls that I didn't know, right? I would find somebody who loves to play music, a DJ, to be able to throw that there. And I would find somebody for everything to compile and I was the marketer. I was the galvanizer. I was the hype man. And I was the guy who would just talk about it and people would come. Right. And I knew exactly who I need to know, who I need to know in order to make this happen. So I knew the key players to put it together. And then I was the guy bringing the bodies to the room. Right. I said, oh my gosh, I've been doing this all my life. So I said, you know what? I'm a connector. I'm a galvanizer. I'm a leader to put things together so everybody wins, whether it's positive or negative. So, and that continued, by the way, up until now. I said, what should I do? I said, I should bring people together for a good purpose, maybe entrepreneurs to help them grow their business, networking group. And I'm going to make a networking group that's different than all the other groups that are out there in today's world. There's so many groups that are salesy and so many very pitchy, or it's just a bunch of women or a bunch of men or a bunch of beginners or a bunch of super advanced people you feel disconnected to, or it costs you like a mortgage to be a part of the group, like a 35K mastermind or so on and so forth. I said, let me create something that's special, unique, different, that the marketplace needs. And that's what I did. And then it took off, but it all took off. And then I realized my purpose and my vision. And I said, oh, I know why I'm here.
Mhm.
I know what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to serve entrepreneurs so that entrepreneurs can chisel each other. Iron sharpens iron in a global network to where we can now become better entrepreneurs because I created the space. And then when better entrepreneurs start to surface in the world, we serve our clients better. When we serve our clients better, the world becomes a better place. And I said, I'm going to change the world one entrepreneur at a time. And that became the bigger vision and the bigger play. And then now that's my passion, that's my work, and that's my purpose.
Yeah.
Right? It all came when I had clarity. And clarity takes time. You got to actually sit down with yourself through prayer, through meditation, through journaling, through strategizing on a whiteboard, through silence and stillness, and through mentorship. Right. And that's kind of the whole thing. So that's my piece. Now I want to hear you. Let's hear you.
Oh, I love it. If tell me what you think about this. One thing I'd add is also getting out there and exercising your purpose. Sometimes you get that refinement, and then you go not maybe test it, but you like start exercising it. And you're like, oh, I'm gonna tweak it over here, right? It keeps on going. And I think at least I heard that in your CLA journey, right? You start putting people together, and that okay, it's this. So it's also getting out there and starting to live what you believe it to be, and it will get sharper too because you can learn. It's so funny. So I'm gonna answer your question. I also wanted to share something that inspired me. I went to this speakers class, I think it was 2 weeks ago, from this company called Heroic, and the room is filled with all kinds of different speakers. So like you just use the broadest term speaking.
Sorry. I know Heroic. I've seen it.
Oh yeah. Oh, I was like, and thanks, Paul, for adding in.
And then is it Arate or Atare or something, a book that was written from the guy who runs Heroic?
Yes, he's got a number of books, and we can pull them up. Also, I love this because I can bring some books. Jose, you love books. And we share in the power of book. So I'll grab those in a second. But yeah, he has a book on like filling the room, essentially like how do you monetize or build sort of your like speaking business. Some of it's also just on your story and how that comes to life. But we can pull the titles. Really great program, and actually the founder, he was there and he was talking to us about like how do you think about like what it is that you're doing and like what are you serving, and their punchline is basically like changing the world one speaker, one speech at a time. And speech being, so for those that aren't like big speakers, it could be anything. Like I'm speaking in a meeting, I'm speaking to a group, I'm speaking on a stage of 10,000. Speaking can like show up in so many ways. But when he started chatting, he was like, his question about your purpose or what shows up for you was like, what's the thing that you're so passionate about that the people around you, like the people that are closest to you, are like, please stop talking about that. Like there's like an annoyance that comes with your passion of the people that are around you. If you will, like if you can imagine that, like probably like your best friend, your partner, whoever that may be, you're like, I got it. You care about this thing. Like for me, that's like careers. Like I'm in my friend group in Colorado. One day we were chatting and we were sort of like on a joking run of like, what's everyone known for? And I got tagged to the career space, which I'm like happy to take. I love career work. I've enjoyed my career. I love when people do well in their career. I'm right there when they're struggling because we spend so much time at work. But I love that tag because also everyone was joking about it. They're like, yeah, like half of them were like, I don't even know what half of you do in your business. And I was like, I could tell all of you what you do now and what you've done the past 5 years and when you got promoted and when I think you could do more of. And also back to the point, I think sometimes people get tired, like people closest to me talking about work and not work, like the things that I do, but contextually around, we spend a lot of time. How do you make it more fulfilling? So I loved that question, Jose. Like, what's the one thing that you're so passionate about that other people around you could just be like, yeah, we got it. We get it. So maybe I'm just offering an additional of like as people are seeking that from themselves, that one connected with me. But how did I find my passion or my purpose? I think not too far off from you. Like I think there's things in my life that, actually, I didn't give you space to the heroic question. Like, what do you think about that? Like, what's the thing? I thought that resonated with me, but I'm curious, like, to that, when you heard me say, like, what is that one thing that people closest to you would say, yep, we got it, Jose.
Yeah. So speaking I'm gonna grab the book right here.
Good.
I'm gonna grab it live.
Let's do it. One of us needed to. I'm like over here. I'm like ready to pull the thing myself too, because I also feel bad. Because which one is that one going to be? Let's see. What do you have one on?
Arate.
Nice.
Arate, activate your heroic potential. So I'm pretty sure that's the guy. Brian Johnson.
Michael Port and Amy Port.
Oh wow, maybe not.
We got a couple. We got a couple. There are more heroics.
Okay, so yeah, this is a guy who has a company called, you see here, Heroic.
Yes, I do.
There, I'll put this there too. Yeah, so anyways, I've been following this guy on YouTube initially, and then he wrote this phenomenal book called Arate, which is all about activate your heroic potential, volume 1. So it's going to be a series, it sounds like. So it says here, ancient wisdom, modern science, move from theory to practice to mastery. But anyway, just food for thought. But again, refresh my memory, your question specifically.
Well, no, I know. Maybe I'll add to the book story, which is, I think what you're like, you just shared one, and then I'm gonna throw one out there too. The other heroic person. There can never be too many heroics in our world. Right. So one of the books by Michael Port is called Book Yourself Solid. So this is I mentioned like this is the building your business. Steal the Show. From speeches to job interviews to deal closing pitches. These are just two of them. He does have a number of others.
You said Michael Porter?
Michael Port, P-O-R-T.
Okay.
So we'll leave folks with that. But no, I was just asking. I mean, I was largely just I didn't want to keep like throwing things at you, but I was curious. The thing that he had shared with us around part of this question of how do you find your purpose or where does that show up for you? He's like, if you're really stuck on it, because this is the thing that's going to differentiate you in your business, because you are uniquely positioned in this way. Like, what's the one thing that you feel like you spend your time, energy talking to people about, and the people closest to you? You talk about it so much that they're like almost like sick of hearing that topic from you. That being maybe like a discoverable thing. And I was just curious. For me, it really resonated because I've been in that seat where it's a love annoyance. Like sort of like we got it and we love your passion. We just don't need to love your passion right now while I'm eating dinner on Friday night. Type of thing.
Easy one.
But it's connected with me. I was just curious where it landed with you.
An easy one for me. I have a few of those actually, but if I had to nail one, just one.
Which is why you have a few businesses. You have unique offerings for the world.
So if no chronological order here, but if I had to just drop a couple of those that are like what somebody would probably say, that I'm aware of, because you got to have self-awareness too, right? So I would say number one, no particular order again, is the power of networking, of building relationships. Right, the relationship building process. I'm talking about that all the time with everybody, everywhere I go. We could be having a non-business conversation, and somehow it leads to the power of building relationships and why it's important and how to do it. And so I would say, I probably have had, without them being obvious about it, some eye rolls on me talking about relationship building, right? Because that's just, oh, there he goes again, that kind of a thing. Of course, they don't tell me, but I can just imagine. And then another thing is sales. I'm a huge proponent that sales fixes all challenges, right? Like if you're good at sales, no matter where you are in your business, that can solve it. If you have this issue, sell. This issue, sell. This issue, become better at selling. Like it's just, sales is a powerful thing. And I think any business, in order to grow, needs revenue. In order to get revenue, you need to be able to articulate yourself well, in a sense of telling somebody, hey, this is something that I believe you need, and this is why, and let me inspire you and move you to take action on something that you need, assuming they need it, right? I'm not talking about sleazy sales where you try to make something fit somebody who doesn't fit. I'm talking about sales to where it's you solving problems, right? So there's that. And then if I had to throw one more in terms of things that I'm always like constantly talking about, and that's sometimes people are like, oh, there he goes again, is probably the importance of faith. having faith and putting God first and everything. I tend to go down that rabbit hole of conversation, and it doesn't matter who I'm talking to. It's funny because I could be talking to an atheist, I could be talking to a Jewish guy, and I'm Catholic, right? I could be talking to somebody who may not be Catholic. I could be talking to somebody who is more spiritual than me and is probably looking to talk about something different, right? And I just find somehow, so those are the three things that I tend to talk about a lot.
Yeah.
And for some people, it might be like, oh, here he goes again. So there's that.
No, but I think, and if they do that, in the spirit of the question, that just means that they're close to you, because they get to see that exposure to you in many aspects of your life and their life, and they're like, all right, again, just trying to. Yeah. It's Saturday morning, let's just hang here. So I think there's also an honor in that. How about that? To have that feeling for other people, it means they know you and they're around you.
Indeed. And Ian said hello. It's Carlee. Awesome talking with you the other week. Good to see you, Ian.
Ian's another great connector in finding people's purpose and support.
Yeah, he's brilliant, and he has his own community, by the way. So, guys, if you want to network with more people, reach out to Ian. The guy's brilliant. Paul Hoyt here. Great conversation. Starting with your purpose and your why is a great idea and the start of a great plan. As a matter of fact, Paul Hoyt, the guy is brilliant. He's an amazing guy. And full disclosure, he is officially the CFO for me and the Connected Leaders Academy. So big shout out to Paul Hoyt. Greatly appreciate you. And if you don't know him, you should know him. He's amazing. So back to you, Carlee.
Listen, we gotta listen to the people, and the big CFO. We gotta pump him. We contributes in big ways. But all like Juggy said, we gotta, part of the conversation is what are we learning, reflecting on, and where does that connect with others? Because where we've been vacillating is both our journeys, but also there's inspiration that comes from that of what is it that's important for others as they're beginning, whether it's work or life, and finding that purpose, and maybe finding that purpose, but finding what is uniquely mine, and how does that facilitate what I'm doing in work and life. But you had asked me about have I always known my purpose? And I think similar to you, I think that has crystallized over time. I think I've always enjoyed helping others. I've always enjoyed connecting at a real personal level around understanding what people are trying to do and be a helper in that. But I don't think, so over the years, I think it's just crystallized, figuring out what that has meant for me, trying stuff out, talking to other people about it. I remember a very distinct time in my life, probably around when I was graduating from college, which is, what do I want to do? Because I never really actually figured it out. The only reason why I left school is because I was I got to get out of here because I can't be spending more money. This what do we do? I just got to get out. What's the end point to finish? But I was working, I went to Arizona State, and I was working at our student union, and I loved that work. We were resetting rooms. I got real good at rolling round tables, stacking chairs. I love the physical aspect of things, but what I really loved about it was the team. It was a team job, right? To redo a room, especially a huge ballroom, you can't do that by yourself. Yeah. And I was in a position when I was a senior to help lead that team. Me and a friend of mine, we were leading the group. And as you can imagine, or maybe not, that role didn't get paid a ton. We had a high turnover because it was physical. You always get the thanks from the client side, right? The people coming to use the space. And so it was a tough gig. But we were like, how can we make this better? Can we pay people differently? Can we create promotion opportunities? Can we change the shift schedule so it's better for people? And what I didn't know at the time is I was basically doing a microcosm of HR, the things that actually matter to people when they're working in a company. How are you paying them? Do they feel seen? Are they supported? Do you get training to upskill yourself? And that became, while I still didn't have it crystallized, it became the pursuit of what is this thing, and how can I do more of it? What is it called? Where can I contribute? And I think that's been the path that I've been on. And I think I've finally found terms for that. At this point, if I were to hone it all the way in, you ended with, I serve, entrepreneurs. For me, I serve hungry career people who want to be doing the things that they know they can be contributing value to and want to and are able to. And so that's done in a lot of ways. For me, career coaching, serving organizations, working in my community of Baltimore on workforce development, to name a few. But at the end of the day, it's about how is that person who is working, all of us, like their career moment, that they feel like they're fulfilling what's important to them and giving that to the clients or building a product, however they are in service to the thing that's important. That stuff's not getting in the way for them to do that. So I don't know, that's like a 20-year run. I think that it's talking to friends, it's trying stuff, it's listening to other leaders. That's how I've refined that over the years. But I also think it's a continuation. I'm always refining, I'm always learning, getting sharper, opening new doors. But that's where, when you find that purpose, I think you can pivot and navigate and even get more from it. And as a side note, I don't know if Sifu, if this is like a computer Sifu, he's joining from his ill bed. I'm worried why Sifu's photo is on our screen.
I have no idea, but we'll find out soon enough. But keep going.
Okay. I was like, I hope he like rested like you told him to. You're like, please don't. But no, I think that's it for me. I think it's maybe it's the reminder that we're also in pursuit. You can have your purpose, but there's a lot that you're always refining and growing from and moving to, because that's where we continue to become better versions of ourselves, which then impact our clients or the people that are around us in more profound and impactful ways.
Love it. Love it. Great sharing. I love that share, by the way. Thank you for sharing that, very in depth. And by the way, we're going to stop for a very quick commercial from our sponsor. So please watch.
Hi, my name is Jose Escobar, and I'm the founder and CEO of the Connected Leaders Academy. We're a growing tribe, a community of entrepreneurs all over the world, globally, all across the country, high performers, titans of industry. If you're an entrepreneur and you're looking to grow personally and professionally, scale your influence, develop your skill sets, move the needle in your business, more clients, more money, more profit, the bottom line, and of course, grow your circle and your network like never before, this is where you want to be. Join the Connected Leaders Academy today. We are scaling massively. We want to welcome you in. Check me out on Instagram and on Facebook, the @ JAESCO25. We look forward to having you join us. Take care.
I love all the videos that you guys do and the songs. Like, it just makes me, I need my own tunes, Jose. That's it.
Yeah, all in due time, right? All in due time. And I've got to say, oh, look at that. The sponsor is me. How funny. But
I should have set you up. I was like, look at that strong sponsor.
Yeah.
But I think a little bit hyped the jam.
Yeah, I told Sifu when we joined forces to do this show, I said, hey, man, I'll join you on the show as long as I'm the sponsor. Yeah, no, listen. So for those of you who just saw that commercial and you're probably watching this either live now or on the replay, and you're wondering what the heck is the Connected Leaders Academy, you just saw the commercial, an outdated commercial, by the way. I got to update that video. But yeah, as of today, we have 603 members in all 50 states across the entire US, and we're in 37 international countries. If you're a business owner, an entrepreneur, you want to get on more podcasts, you want to get on more stages as a speaker, you want to find some amazing guests for your show if you have a podcast, referrals, leads, collaborations, endorsements, JV partnerships, more clients, more revenue, lifelong friendships, of course, naturally and organically, and just building your network with some amazing people globally. This is the hub for you. Just go to my website. It's scrolling at the bottom here, www.connectedleadersacademy.com. Hint, hint, only schedule there if you have a business. That's like one of the most foundational qualifiers. You have to have a business to be a part of this group. So anyway, back to you, Carlee. Let's kind of shift slightly here and talk about the importance of a blueprint. Right? How important, since we're talking about the balanced blueprint, right? So many of us in life are just kind of going where the wind blows, and we don't even have a blueprint on what we're trying to achieve and where we're looking to go. It's like the idea of trying to get somewhere in a GPS without putting in an address, right? Like, what's the point of having the car and the GPS if you don't know where you're going, right? So tell us about the blueprint. What is your idea on blueprint, and why is that important in life and in business?
I think blueprint, and we could use a word interchangeably here. Sometimes people refer to it as their business strategy, their New Year's resolutions. I don't like, you hear terms all the time of like, what is the objective that I'm aiming for at the end, and how do I get there? So I think blueprint is one way to anchor that. And prior to your question, if people are coming along, like we've been talking about passion, work, purpose, and other items that are important for us. And those things don't come to fruition unless we have intention, and intention is delivered through a plan or a blueprint. And to me, that is about not just, it's understanding the outcome for sure, the steps that we're taking to get there, like what's the timing that we're looking at, who do we need to support us, what are we delivering on, and I sure, like you're like, great, sounds like sure, we all need that plan. And oftentimes, but I don't know, Jose, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this too. I think these are the things though that get left off, because it's the time to sit down to actually map, right? It's one thing to think it, to say it, to be like, yep, got it, we'll do it. But to invest, I think that's the step that people often miss. And one thing that I'll share is, and I've been talking to other like business owners about this, there are so many tools out there now to be able to build your personal blueprint, business plan, however you want to phrase it, that keeps your priorities in order, keeps you focused. And back to your point earlier around time, uses your time in the way that matters most for the things that are most important for you. And so maybe one thing we could share or talk about in that is like, and back to talking to people about business, it's like either ChatGPT or Claude. If you understand the things that you're trying to achieve in life or work, knowing what those goals are, putting that in, be like, hey, Claude, here are the goals for my business. These are the top 3 things that are most important for me this year. And I want you to help me prioritize regularly, build my blueprint for my business, both in a long-term and short-term and day-to-day perspective about how I should be using my time to contribute most against those 3 things. So for me, if that's passion, work, and purpose, I should be always in pursuit of that outcome. And so, hey, Claude, here are the things, help me do that. And by the way, Jose, I've just started to do this on the daily. Like I wake up, I kind of like look at I pull in my to-do, or I audibly like, hey, those are things I know that I have going on. What should I tackle first? What do you think is going to require the most energy? And what's one thing I should absolutely not miss today, right? To continue to keep me in that pursuit. So long answer to your short question, but I think at the end of the day, what we're talking about here is a plan to reach your outcomes. And there's a lot of ways that you can do that. But the main thing to take away is around the intention of where you're going and how you're getting there, because distractions show up all the time. But if we have that plan or that blueprint, I think it keeps us focused and doing what we want to be doing.
Solid answer. I guess I have to add something to that, but I mean, that was you just encompassed a lot in one quick answer. So well done. That's super thorough. And I love the leverage of AI and Claude, and how you're kind of asking Claude every day, hey, this is blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden, here you go. Like we are in a time right now where there is no excuse for you not to have a blueprint for success, right? There is no excuse. Before it was, oh, I can't afford the coach. I can't afford the mentor. I don't know any high-level people who would mentor me for free. I don't know any coaches that will, be within my budget of what they want me to pay them. And I can't afford that right now. I can't afford to go to this in-person event. I can't afford to go to that webinar or masterclass or summit or convention or boot camp. I can't afford that $20,000 mastermind. Oh, that Community Connected Leaders Academy is out of my price point. Oh, you know what? The books, I'm just not a good reader. And, I hear it all. I've heard it all. What about something as simple as ChatGPT or Claude, where you can just go in there and ask it for a blueprint, right? And just say, hey, give me a blueprint, give me a system, give me a flow, give me a strategy, give me a process, a schedule, give me something that can lead me in the right direction. And again, it's not a matter of having the resources available to you, whether it's money or connections or or places, things, people, whatever. It's the resourcefulness. And we're now in a time where you can leverage something just like that, and it'll give you exactly what you need. And that's the thing. So for me, the short, simple answer is simply success is a planned event.
Yep.
If you're failing to plan, by default, you're planning to fail. You have to have a blueprint. You have to have a system. You have to have a schedule, a process of how you're going to go about your day to day, because the days stack up, and the days turn into weeks, and the weeks turn into months, and the months turn into quarters, and the quarters turn into years, and the years turn into decades, and the decades become your life.
Dang, Jose.
And it's amazing. And it's amazing how you look up 10 years later and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm in the same place I was 10 years ago.
Savvy.
And it's crazy. And you know what the worst part about this is that we are the ones in control. You are the one steering your ship, right? You're the captain. It is up to you. If it's meant to be, it's up to me. I can decide today, these next 10 years, starting from April 3rd, 2026, these next 10 years are going to be the 10 years that I have done more in these 10 years than I've done in the last 3 decades. It's going to absolutely change my life, and I can be wherever I want to be 10 years from now. I don't think you need a lifetime. You don't need 30 years, 50 years. In 1 year, you can change your life. I know this because in 15 months, I built something pretty significant. And it was the power of a made-up mind. It was the power of having a blueprint. It was the power of knowing the work involved, and putting into work, and the time and the energy, knowing your purpose, being passionate along the way. And it's amazing when you're in motion and you're like all in alignment.
Yeah.
There is nothing that can stop that steamroll that's coming through. There is nothing, because you're going to plow right through it. And I don't care if you put a brick wall, you put a building in front of me, you put whatever, my steamroll machine, the truck that has a big steamroller in front of it, is just going to plow right through anything, because that's what we have decided, right? And once you decide and you back it up with commitment, with the right blueprint, oh my gosh, the life you want is at the other end of a commitment.
Yep. I love that. In the metaphor of the car or things getting in the way, I was thinking like that I'm just the blueprint gives you the tools to work through that, both in the momentum that you're having. That was something I'm hearing, both in the planning, but quite literally, like in my head, I was thinking about like road trip. I don't know how many people road trip. I love a good road trip. And what makes that good is like that you have a plan. In some cases, like where are you going? What are you doing? But also things like, something happens, like how do I, work through that? And when you have a plan to do that, it doesn't it's not in the way. Like say you blow a tire, like I've had that happen. Well, I have a plan because I already thought about like where my insurance can kick in to help me with that.
Yep.
Maybe that's not an exciting metaphor, but I'm just like using that in the case of business too. And Jose, one thing I think a lot about it is how did you put it? If it's meant to be, then I can make it. Or if it's
meant to be, it's up to me.
If it's meant to be, it's up to me. And in the it's up to me, one of the things that I've found that's really powerful, it's also the me choices that I have are also the people that are around me, right? That whether it's friends, partners in business, just go with those two. These are influencers that we also have the power for ourselves to influence. And one thing that I love, I'll call it maybe the insurance to your blueprint, is like, who are those people? Traditionally, you hear this like sometimes referred to as like, who's your like personal board of directors, or you could call whatever you want. But I think part of your blueprint, the insurance to your blueprint, is really understanding the people that are around, right? Who's going to be the sort of the person on the other shoulder that's like, are you sure that's going to work? It sounds like a great idea. It sounds like you're very passionate about that. But is it filling your customer's purpose? Or the person that's going to get you connected? Maybe you need a Jose on your board, right? Someone who's going to be that and support you there. But the person that is going to ultimately continue to champion your person. Maybe you need like a cheerleader. Whatever those things are. For me, the people are around that I have, not just the connector, not just the person that's like, hey, is this fulfilling what you said it should? Not just your passion, because passion can get in the way of purpose sometimes, by the way. But also I have things like people who are in market, right? They're in the same space that I'm in, but they're in different parts, like same outcome. They do career work, but maybe they serve different types of clients. And so can we learn from each other? I have someone who helps on the financial side. They sit at my board, both personally and in the business. So I'll just throw that out there because I think the insurance policy to your blueprint are also the people that are around you. And that's also up to us, but is intentional and it's relational and it's super important.
Yeah, powerful stuff. I appreciate those insights. I'm sure everybody who's watching is also enjoying that. So well said. Very quick commercial, and then we'll be right back with our final thoughts.
The city never sleeps, and neither do the dreamers who build its pulse. From every corner of the globe they come. Visionaries, creators, leaders, each carrying a spark ready to ignite the world. This is not an event, it's a revolution of rhythm and reason. A symphony of minds, a movement of momentum. Sifu, Rafael, Lancelot, Jose Escobar. Together they set the stage for brilliance. This is the NYC experience. Mastermind, light up the city. They coming from the east, coming from the west. Knowledge on deck, put the truth to the test. Leaders in motion, hearts in sync, dropping wisdom so deep it'll make you think. They bring stories, sweat and flame, different faces, one shared name. Elevation, that's the sound. NYC experience, mastermind, where purpose is found.
Another good one.
Okay. Okay. So listen, that was a commercial of the upcoming event in September. Plenty of runway for people to prepare to get themselves in the room. Sifu Rafael, Lancelot Theobald Jr., myself, Jose Escobar, and our special boots on the ground co-host of this event, T.O. Clay, Coach T.O. Clay, Timothy Clay. We are going to be hosting the NYC Mastermind Experience event in Atlanta, Georgia. Atlanta, Georgia, September 25th to the 27th. If anybody's interested in attending, you're interested in speaking, you're interested in sponsoring, whatever the case is, any or all of the above, comment on this or send me a DM and we will talk about it. Okay, so final thoughts, Carlee. 1 minute. Please share with us your final thoughts on the balanced blueprint, passion, work, and purpose in motion.
I think listen, there's a lot going on in the world. It's hard to find and feel like we have not just the center of gravity for ourselves, that we're regularly contributing to that. And so I think if I were to leave maybe one inspiration behind, and with this is continue to be in the pursuit of what is purpose for you. Use that purpose to fuel what you need to be anchored in your purpose in your life. For me, that includes work and things that I'm passionate about. Build your plan to continue to deliver on that and have the people around you to help support in that pursuit. And it shows up in a lot of ways, but if you're intentional, it will come to you and it will fuel you. And I think I'll end on an example of that, which adds to your commercial. You and I are here because I met Sifu through a conversation, because this is the dialogue that reaches people and it's impactful. Through that meeting, I went to an NYC experience event where I got a chance to meet you, which has expanded not only just being a relationship with an amazing person, but within that with CLA, expanding to build a network of people around me that are not only in pursuit of their excellence, but support my excellence. And that's to me a through line of, if you're clear about what you want, you're in pursuit of it, working towards it, and have the people around, good things happen. and progress happens. And for me, it connects back to what I'm trying to do, which is important to who I am as a human, where I want to be in the world. So I know it's longer than a minute, but I thought I tie in also like the commercial is like, get the extra minute because you get the extra ad. But I think like joking aside, I think that's just all this is so meaningful for me, and so I appreciate the time to chat.
Carlee, thank you so much for being on this live show today, Heroes Rising. It was a pleasure having you. Thank you for adding value to all of our viewers. Folks, if you do not know Carlee Wolfe, you need to know Carlee Wolfe. She's an amazing entrepreneur, just a phenomenal person, and she's out of Baltimore, Maryland area, also a member of the Connected Leaders Academy, and you can see her LinkedIn is scrolling at the bottom there. So check out her LinkedIn, connect with her there. And in terms of Sifu Rafael, we missed him today. He couldn't be here with us this afternoon, at least for an extended period, but we wish him well, and we'll catch him on the next show. And my final thought is quite simple. Listen, guys, get a blueprint for life and for business, because life is business and business is life. They're interconnected. And if you don't have a business, it's your career, right? But you have to have a blueprint. You got to show up with passion every single day. You got to work hard, put in the work, and you got to be purpose driven. Know where you're going and why you're going there. And if you're in motion, you're in a good place. You got to be in motion. You can't be stagnant. So I think that's enough in those words that we're using for today's title of today's talk. Thank you for being here. We look forward to catching you guys soon. Take care. All the best.